Good evening, everyone. First item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and a seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed on the agenda? Councillor Gladden. Okay, Mayor Robinson. All right, all in favor? Okay. All right, so it is 6:30. We'll move into closed session. All right, welcome back. Thank you, everyone. A report from closed session. Council approved the closed session minutes from February 21 in closed session, as well as discussed personnel matters and possible acquisition or disposition of land. Preliminary matters called to order. The time being 7 o'clock, I would like to call this meeting to order. Item 3.1, traditional territory acknowledgement. First item of the agenda tonight will be followed by a moment of silence. Council of the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty and that the land we gather on is home to the Red Rock Indian Band and the Anishinaabe people, as well as the Métis people. Okay, thank you. 3.3, administration advises that there are no amendments to the agenda. Do any members of council wish to make amendments to the agenda? Can I have a motion? Can I have a mover for a seconder, first and a seconder to make a motion to approve agenda as presented? Okay, Councillor Gladden, Councillor Brand. All in favor? Motion is passed. 3.4, request. Are there any declarations of interest to disclose? Okay. None. Presentations, deputations, we have none tonight. 5.1, meetings of the regular meeting of council held February 21, 2023. The meeting, the minutes of the last regular meeting, February 21, are at item 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or admissions to note in the minutes? None. Okay. May I have a mover and a seconder for a motion to approve these minutes? Mayor Robinson. Smith, Councillor Smith. Okay. All in favor? Okay. Six, correspondence. 6.1, the first matter at item 6.1 is for information purposes only relating to the requests from other municipalities. Do any members of council have any questions or wish to support the resolution? Your worship.
I would like to support the Barriers for Women in Politics resolution.
Second. Okay. Okay, so motion put forward, moved by Mayor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Gladden. Right. All in favor? Excellent. All right, the motion is carried. All right, excellent. 6.2. The next item is 6.2. This is for information purposes only regarding annual general meeting minutes from the Thunder Bay District Health Unit Board. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? Nothing? Okay. Thanks, everyone. 6.3. The next item is 6.3. But I've got to stop reading that part. This is for information purposes only regarding meeting minutes from the Thunder Bay District Health Unit Board meeting on January 18th. Do any council members have any remarks on this item? Just one. I did see Councillor Gladden's name in there quite a few times. Oh, the other meeting. Yeah. Oh, Cindy, pardon me. Sorry. I did read the meeting. I did read the minutes. That's the next one. That's right. Yes, DSAP, pardon me. All right, so I don't have any comments? No, okay. 6.4 is for information purposes only relating to a slide deck from the Ministry of Environment on implementing the conservation agreement for Boreal caribou in Ontario. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? Okay. 6.5. Is there any information purposes regarding the inaugural meetings for the Thunder Bay DSAB board? Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? Good job, Councillor Gladden. I saw your name in the list. All right, 6.6 is for information purposes only regarding the open and closed session minutes from the Thunder Bay DSAB board's meeting on January 26th. Do any members of council have any remarks or questions on this item? Next item 6.7 is for information purposes only regarding to thank you letter from Thunder Bay Regional Health and Sciences Foundation for annual pledge to the cardiovascular surgery program. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? 6.8 is for information purposes only regarding the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry proposed amendments to the Public Land Acts. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? All right. We're at 6.9. Item 6.9 is for information purposes only regarding a memorial program to honor veterans via banners hung around town on Remembrance Day. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? Yep, Councilor Brand.
Is this something that the township, or is this for individuals, community people who want to purchase this?
Yeah, so Councillor Muir had actually brought this to my attention. So what they are looking for, so it's an initiative led by I guess this Chris Tabinger of Walkerton, Ontario. So what they're looking for the township to do would be and I guess the direction I'm looking for would be they're looking for the township to sponsor either monetary or in kind and assist with the use of town poles to put up and take down town banners. They'd be hung for about 2 to 3 weeks around Remembrance Day. And Councillor Muir might have more of an to add to that, but the direction they're looking for is to see if the Township of Red Rock is interesting. And I would suggest that maybe that would be an in-kind donation where we could possibly assist with putting the banners up.
Yeah, like Faye Boudreau had done some research on this, and I guess they saw this when they were on a trip at one time. And if you look at the banners that are on the picture, it's got the actual picture of the veteran, and it's got the whole, like, it's a beautiful representation. So she had mentioned too, this would be something it would be a partnership with the Legion as well too, through this. And I mean, obviously there's different ways to raise the money, but ultimately the family would sponsor and then, we'd house that. We need somebody to house or they could house it, and then we'd put it up and assist with that. And right now, the way it looks, it's the same as our banners that we have up right now, the same system where they hook up to the poles and it has the bar on the bottom and top. So if it works in the setup, maybe we could use existing, but at the same time too, I mean, it might be part of the package, but it is definitely something. I think it goes hand in hand with the Royal Canadian Legion. Councillor Smith. Oh, sorry, Councillor Brandt. What? Good, Councillor Smith.
Oh, sorry. I just stating I support it wholeheartedly, and I do agree with the in-kind, but I think also a monetary donation with that would be nice as well. Just my 2 cents.
Okay. Councillor Smith, did you want to? Are you putting a motion forward for monetary donation, or do you?
I'm just voicing my opinion at this moment, and then looking at what everybody else has to say.
Okay, so we'll just make note of that. Mayor Robinson.
I would just like to get more information on the costing, because if we can use our pre-existing poles, then that might decrease the cost. So before, I think we go to and partner up with the Legion, because we would like to get a list of previous or members Then we can bring that to families. And if the families can fully support it and pay for that one-time cost, it is a one-time cost because we'll house them or somebody will, right? And then, you know, some people that are deceased or parent families don't live in town anymore, maybe the township can sponsor those ones, or we can fundraise for that or do something. But I think if we can find out if we can use our pre-existing poles, that's going to reduce the cost, and then we go from there. But working in conjunction with the Legion and veterans, I'm quite sure the rest of the community, anybody would support this. And I do support it moving forward and looking into it.
Councilor Brandon, you're okay.
So maybe just for a clear direction, maybe I can reach out to this individual with council's direction tomorrow or and find out a little bit more information, and then but the clear direction would be to look into it at this point, and that the township has an interest, but we do want to see what what some of the parameters are or what the financial cost is, and I can do that as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, I do believe there's different styles as well too, right? So that would be fantastic if you could do that, Mark. Right,
Yeah, and
Councilor Gladden?
it also, we could always send letters to local businesses as well. To help support,
100%.
as it says in the letter. So that would,
100%.
alleviate costs.
Yeah. And I mean, something like this, definitely to a fundraiser, you have a night, you could have an event too. Possibly start looking at the community, events, to raise money. So this is perfect. Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks, everyone. All right. All right. So we'll move on now. 8.1, the first report had item 8.1 is the report on administrative activity. Do any members of council have any questions for Mr. Figliamini? Councilor Brand?
So the budget survey, when will, just on the budget survey? The budget survey?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering when that will be available to us?
Yeah, for sure. So did you want me to go through the updates or the discussion place? Or is there any other questions on the front part? No, okay. So the budget survey will be presented to council as early as next meeting of council. So just as a summary, I believe we had 72 responses. We have been working on putting those into a kind of a pie chart kind of situation for council. So and then summarizing some of the information that didn't technically fit into a pie chart. So comments and that. So again, 72 responses, and we will we're looking to present that to council either the next meeting of council or even shortly after that, tying it into the budget process, but ideally the next meeting of council.
Oh, Councilor Smith?
Are we talking about the second page there for for my item there, the recreation center for summer hours? Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah, certainly. We can talk. I mean, there was an item brought forward by Councillor Smith, just basically on some of the operations around the recreation center and how we may look at. I mean, traditionally, the recreation center would close. It'd be a seasonal operation. So Councillor Smith had reached out based on the fact that would we be looking at some of those options, quite possibly even as simply as keeping it open for a birthday party or something, for example. So Councillor Smith, we're having those discussions internally, and then we'll bring that back to council with a recommendation. I know we did have programming through the summer last year, and again, we'll have those kind of decisions made and brought to council for discussion very shortly. But we'll look at all options for sure.
Okay. My reason for bringing it forward is for myself and my family, but I've also had residents come to me about asking that specific question as well, which is what raised the item.
No, for sure. And I think it'll tie into a lot of our discussions based around budget as well, right? I mean, we'll have a lot of discussions coming up in the next little bit based around operations in general. So I think it's definitely something that we'll continue to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely, Councillor Gladden.
Okay, I was contacted by a former resident of Red Rock, and she said that she had suggested to the township on Messenger, and she hadn't received anything back from the township, so maybe this didn't get it. So this past resident was thinking that to have a Red Rock Day based on, and I know our inaugural date, I think it's February 1945 or something, when we came to township. But she was suggesting that June 28th would be a great day because it relates to the highway coming into Red Rock. So 6 being June 28th. So, and they thought it would be a good intro to Canada Day. So it would be like start the 28th of June and have that whole like 3 days of celebration. So it was just something that was brought to my attention, and I said I would bring it to council, and so it's up to council to.
So what is she proposing happens on Red Rock Day?
The Red Rock Day, and she figured it would be good to like have a day of like Red Rock Day to Canada Day, like a week of celebration.
So a week-long party, that sounds
Yeah.
absolutely terrible to me. I don't know.
But I mean, it would be something maybe for the new events committee to
Absolutely
maybe.
right. That does sound
look
like a lot of
into,
fun.
right? I mean, it wouldn't be too big. I don't think it would be that hard to do. And I mean, we're going to be working on Canada Day anyway. So something just a little add on. And if you want to go through with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, anything to get people into town. And again, the 75 never happened, right? So, and I know people were really looking forward to that. So I'm in favor if, like, I would sit on the committee and help with that for sure. I mean, any further comments? Mayor Robinson?
I just want to remind everyone, I mean, I know we're hopefully have a new committee, but it is the end of the school year. The first thing people do is get out of town to go camping. So being, you know what I mean, historically, July 1st is not worked out well for us, or holding multiple day events, but it's a great idea, right? So we can always look into it, but we'll see where it takes us with the committees.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Perfect. All right. Any further comments?
Just maybe 2 items that we're still following and working on. So the surplus equipment as an update. So we actually did sell all of our surplus equipment. So the Olympia is sold, as well as the 1998 Ford F-150. So along with the old garbage truck that was previously sold. So anything we have listed as surplus equipment is now officially sold. So that's that update. And then facility rentals, we just wanted to stay on that because of some of the questions based around the liquor licensing and some general liabilities. We've actually been doing there is a lot of research into that, and we actually sat in a forum last week that had a whole section on general liabilities within a municipality, not just specifically to alcohol events, but just general events. So we're working on it. I think the direction from council was that I mean, if there was an alcohol event in our facility, we would be welcome to that. There'd be a lot of not restrictions, but there would be a lot of obligation to the actual person doing the renting too, based on insurance. But we're following through that process. We're looking at it. As an update, we have did a pretty good job renovating the old Teen Town room. So it's renovated and ready to go. It's all painted. It's so there's a couple of venues there. So we're still working on that. And it is, if you sit through the seminar, sometimes it's actually scary what you do in a municipality based on the liability that you actually take on. It's it opens your eyes to the fact that, geez, maybe we shouldn't be doing anything, but that realistically isn't an option either. But we're working on that. So I mean, we do have a lot of things on the go right now, and that's one of them that we certainly haven't forgotten. And we do have an event there coming up. So we're happy with how things are going.
Good. All right, does anybody have any further questions for Mr. Figliamini, or do you have any further comments on the report? Okay. All right, can I have a mover and a seconder to accept the report? Councillor Gladden, Councillor Smith. All in favor? Okay. All right. Motion is passed. All right, 8.3. Sorry, pardon me. 8.2 is a report on the biannual inspections of 4 bridges and 1 culvert within the municipality. Do members of council have any questions? Councillor Brand?
So is this for them to come and give us another review?
Yes.
On these, because we've had the last one.
Yeah, so it's a mandatory biannual inspection that we have to do. I believe the acronym is BOSIM. So basically, we're mandated to have our bridges inspected every 2 years. So obviously, 2023 is a year that we have to do this. So this is a proposal in front of you today to accept, based on the fact that JML Engineering will come in. They'll do the inspection on our 4 bridges. They'll put together a report that then will be presented to council. So the 4 bridges and 1 culvert. So once, if this is passed by council resolution, then I will contact JML tomorrow, and we'll put a process in place to start the inspections for 2023.
So this is separate from what we've already got done and the recommendations already made.
Like from you're
the
talking from
previous-
2021?
Correct.
Yeah, so they do they re-inspect the bridges every 2 years. It's mandatory that we have our bridges re-inspected every 2 years.
Yeah.
So it is, I guess it's separate based on what the findings were in 2021, but it's, I mean, and then we would need another inspection in 2025, right? So
Okay.
that's just how.
So we're going to get this done, and if the recommendations are more severe than what was in the previous one, then we get the work done, or how does that?
Yeah, so
Because
they'll make their JML will, if it is approved, that's who we're going. They will make those recommendations, and then we as a council will decide how we're going to manage our bridges, our infrastructure based on the recommendation of our engineering
Okay,
firm. Yeah.
okay, because we did have some recommendations in there to get done by 2023, I believe.
So these are
We're
like,
just going to
so,
update. these.
yeah, infrastructure
okay.
itself will change over time with use, right? So
Okay, yeah,
this would just be a typical annual structural inspection, make sure the piles didn't go down any further. Councillor Smith, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, sorry, it's more of a question. So JML does the inspection every single time? Has there been, so is that yes or no? Like, does JML do the biannual inspection? Have we ever had any other company come in to do it?
Not that I'm aware of. No other company has done it. The reason we're going with, or we're recommending JML this year is the history they have with the bridges and the significant amount of data and knowledge they have on the bridges. paired with the fact that we do have an upgrade planned for this summer, this spring on bridge number 1, based on the recommendations of JML and the funding that the township and council has been stacking based on the NORDS funding. So the
Yeah,
new
no, my question really isn't geared towards that. It's more of different lines. After
this is my first bridge inspection coming
no,
in.
what I'm trying to get at is typically when you do inspections or whatever, you don't always have the same company do it over and over again because you want a fresh pair of eyes when we see something that the other company didn't do. So I'm just wondering if down the road we'll look at switching out companies to do the inspection, and it's not always the same company, so we can have a fresh pair of eyes doing it.
Yeah, certainly we can look at that. And again, this 2023 inspection is based on the fact that JML has been monitoring bridge number 1 now through the winter season, because we did have some recommendations based on work needed for that bridge. So we have through previous council put together an extensive plan for what we're calling for lack of better words, a 10-year kind of repair on that bridge. Because if you looked at the long-term solution of changing out that bridge, you're ultimately looking at probably, and I might say, I mean, my number might not be wrong. I won't put a number on it, but it'll be millions, right? So, so this is the recommendation at this time, but never to say in the future that yeah, you may not have somebody else do inspections. That's a possibility for sure.
Mayor Robinson?
I believe quite a few years ago, there was a recommendation where RFPs were sent out. And I believe, municipal policy is that you basically, you go with the lowest, tender. So but we have been dealing with JML for a long time, but that's because they know the area, they know what to expect and what's coming. So they always, seem to work in our favor, but I do understand where you're coming from, but it would be a process putting out tenders and all of that. And then you're limited then when you do that on who you can choose.
All right, any other questions, comments? Okay, if I could have a mover and a seconder for a motion to approve the consulting engineering proposal from JML Engineering for the township's biannual structural inspection in the amount of 10,500 plus HST. Mayor Robinson. Councilor Gladden. All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Trying to fill that right. All right, the next report at item 8.3 is a report on municipal tax write-off for the 2020 calendar year in relation to a standing issue with assessed values after demolition. Do members of council have any questions? Is there a mover and a seconder for a motion to approve a tax write-off for roll number 5841 000052200 in the amount of $1,116.03, and that this be applied as a credit to the account for the 2020 calendar year? Brand, Councilor Brand, Councilor Smith. All in favor? Motion is passed, carried. All right. Next report at item 8.4 is a report on the donation of land to the Red Rock Municipal Non-for-Profit Housing Corporation, pending government approval of the potential development of senior housing complex in the township of Red Rock. Do members of council have any questions? See no questions? Comments? Okay. Is there a mover or a seconder for a motion to approve the donation of the following parcel of land to the Red Rock Municipal Not-for-Profit Housing Corporation pending government funding for a 12-unit seniors complex, Nipigon, CON 2PT Lot 3 RP 55R492 ? Question mark part of the number? Okay, that question mark is not part of the number. Stop at 2. Okay, so 55R492. No question mark. Okay. Do I have a mover? Councillor Gladden? Have a seconder? Mayor Robinson. All in favor? Pass. Put it on the teleprompter and I will read it. All right, 9. Bylaws, we have none. New business, we have none. Unfinished business, 11.1 to 11.4. So the next item's on the agenda under unfinished business. Do any members of council have any questions for administration relating to these items? Don't have any? Okay. All right. So there's no going back in a closed session tonight. 13 reports confirming bylaw. So the next item is the bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. Any questions? Okay. Can I please have a mover and a seconder for a motion to pass the bylaw? Smith. All right, all in favor? As the time is now 7:31 and there's no further business to attend, as chair, I am pleased to declare this meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.